The next job we're going to show you is how to replace a motor on the Golf Skate Caddy. There are two motors, one on the front and one on the rear. The front motor contains a short cable. The rear motor contains a longer cable. It's a very easy changeover process and requires the removal of 3 bolts and simply just plug in and play and off we go. So let's have a look. We simply remove the 3 Allen keys using a 5mm Allen key wrench. Once the motor is removed, it's simply just a case of replacing it with the other unit. The next job we're going to do, we have a 17mm and a 10mm socket set to remove the front truck and springs and bush. And there's a particular way in which we have to do this in order that everything is removed safely and easily. And it starts by removing the pressure of the 4 bolts which hold down the base plate. Simply remove each nut up to the end here. Do not remove the nut completely. As you remove the nut, the springs are pushing the base plate up here. The next job is to remove the nuts holding the kingpin down. As we remove the nuts, you will see the pressure start to lift up from the springs. It may require a slight tap just to release the pressure. As you remove the nut, you will feel the springs pushing up, and it's simply a matter of releasing the axle. The springs can be inspected and replaced if necessary. Should any damage have been done to the base plate, at this point it's simply a matter of removing all the bolts and removing the base plate. Should we now wish to change the bush, again a very simple procedure, just a matter of removing that bush. Replacing the mechanism is more or less simply a process of reverse. Make sure everything's fitted correctly. Replacing the axle is just a matter of placing the hole here over the kingpin here. Get your washer, place that over the kingpin and your first nut, and just quarter of a turn. We do not want to tighten that nut up. We want everything very, very loose. Then get your first spring and place in the seat as such. Then get your other spring, place in the other seat, and now we have everything lined up. That is the correct procedure for replacing the axle and the springs on the front of the Golf Skate Caddy. The next thing is we simply tighten the second process is to tighten down the 4 nuts. Once everything has been tightened down, if you desire, you can loosen the bush just slightly to allow a little bit of a freer, easier ride by loosening these nuts here just a couple of millimeters. This allows a freer ride, if so desired, on the axle. Motor replacement is simply just a case of connecting the cables and the 3 nuts that we took off initially. Ensure that the cables are pushed back. Tighten up each Allen key loosely but individually. Do not over tighten any Allen keys until all bolts are securely locked in place. Do not over tighten any of the bolts. A firm, confident, tight fit is all that is needed. Do not use electric power tools for tightening up these Allen keys. Should it be required that you need to replace or remove the rear motor, please refer to the episodes where we have removed the computers and also the episode where we have removed the truck and the axle for the front Golf Skate Caddy motor. It is a fairly simple procedure. It is virtually identical to removing the front trunk, with the exception of we have to remove the computers as well. So if there is an opportunity to remove the rear motors, simply refer to the episodes where we remove the front truck and assembly and also the computer assembly, and that will give you clear guidance.